Today's video is going to be about an anime that I recently just finished watching a few days back, and I've found out that it is getting a second season. You can probably tell by the title of this video. It's a review of the anime 86. Now, there are probably going to be spoilers in this video, so if you do not want to have the show spoiled for you, if you are planning on watching it, or if you have not finished it yet and you don't want the show ruined for you, then I'd recommend maybe not watching this video. So with that out of the way, we're gonna get right into it. Going into the show, I wasn't really sure what to expect, but I quickly fell in love with the show. From just the story is an amazing show, like an amazing story, and I don't normally rate shows a 10 out of 10, but this is the one show that I think in a while that I've rated a 10 out of 10, because it's on my anime list, because it is such a masterpiece of a show that just everything comes together in the show. And you know, I sort of rate shows on three different things: art style, animation, and story. And all three of those things are just absolutely phenomenal in the show. You know, if you've completed the show, you know that it sort of focuses around this one group of people called the 86, and they are essentially sent out to fight the battles that the other people don't want to fight. And it's a valid war that they're fighting. There's, you know, somewhat could be debatable, though, I think, on whether or not it's completely valid or not. But as the show progresses, we find out that this group of people considered the 86, and we come to find out that there's 85 districts of people that are considered humans, quote unquote humans, people, and the 86th district is comprised of these sort of lower class citizens that really don't get to be considered people. So the show focuses on sort of like racism, and I would actually say mostly probably classism as well, and sort of discrimination, really, mostly, I would say, more accurately. And this one girl who is, I think, Major Milize, who is put in charge of, as the handler of this one specific unit of 86, I think the spearhead unit, they're like the front lines. She realizes that these quote unquote non-humans, they're just regular people that are being treated horribly by the system and the higher ups and everyone who gets to live within the 85 other districts. And we learn that they have sort of a hatred for those people. I mean, if you've seen the show, you kind of know what I mean by that. So I feel like the story is just absolutely amazing. It tells the story in a way that it makes it sort of understandable, and it kind of slips in hints of it. It doesn't blatantly rip off real life, but you can kind of make some certain connections between between the show and certain things in real life, sending people off to war that, when, to pilot these machines. I mean, obviously, there's a difference between the animation, there's the world that the anime portrays and the real world, but there are definitely some certain aspects of the show that you can kind of pick up on as, some certain similarities between, the show and real life. So the story is absolutely phenomenal. The art style of the show I absolutely fell in love with. And same thing with the animation style. Like there's certain I can't even describe it. It's just like it's my favorite kind of animation style where it's realistic enough to the point. It's not hyper realistic. It's far from being hyper realistic, but it's sort of it's an amazingly beautiful show. The way that it's animated, the way that the art style is, and some of the scenery in the show is absolutely beautifully detailed. Like sometimes to the point of being not necessarily overly detailed, but it's sort of a realistic sort of style, like the art is sort of real. Not real, but it's realistic enough. It's not overly cartoony. It's sort of just it's a very beautiful art style and a very beautiful animation style. So the show is definitely worthy of being a 10 out of 10 in my opinion, compared to some of the other shows that are, it's definitely, it was definitely created with the intention of being gritty and, very sort of real-ish in a way, if that makes any sense at all. It's real-ish, and it's just a beautiful art style. It really is just a very beautiful art style, and the story is amazing, and I'm really glad 86 is getting a second season, because where the story left off, it's one of those stories that makes you genuinely connect with the characters in the show, and I absolutely love that style of, I absolutely love shows that make you connect with the characters and make you feel something for the characters of whatever they're going through, because I don't know, I love shows like that make you feel something, that kind of put emotion into the show, and everything from the story to the animation to the voice actors. It feels like everybody that was involved with the show put everything they had into the show, and it's obvious because the show is phenomenal. I can't say that enough. The show is absolutely phenomenal. It is hands down probably one of the best shows of the season, if not the best. And I really can't wait to see how they continue the story for the second season, because where they left off at the end of the first season is sort of a cliffhanger, really, and I'm really glad they're getting to be able to continue that story, and I hope that everyone that's involved in the second season is just as passionate about the second season as they were in the first. So, with that being said, if you have not seen 86 yet, I highly recommend watching it because it is just an absolutely mind-blowing show of the people, the higher-ups, not really caring about the people beneath them, but there are some that do. But the people that are on the bottom, regardless of who is in command, still not liking whoever is in command, regardless of what that person says, no matter how passionate that person. You'd have to watch it in order to know what I'm talking about. So, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.